You're listening to the John and Heidi Show. Now, featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Farris.
Okay, dudes, let's walk this sucker.
On Sunny 93.3.
It's time now for the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris. How you doing, Dan?
Well, you know, I've said it earlier this week. I'll say it again. It is time on the great prairie state of South Dakota to do some loin girding. The weather is such. I mean, it just is. Out and about, let's be safe, let's be careful, let's be attentive to your surroundings because I care.
And it's yucky out there. That's a technical term.
And it's yucky. And also, and I don't know if you're going to celebrate this or not, but a couple times over the past few months we have made mention of the 18th Amendment or prohibition. Well, today was the day in the United States of America, this very day, 1920, that it all got ratified. This would be the first day of prohibition of alcohol went into effect this day as a result of the 18th Amendment.
So how would you celebrate that? By not drinking today? Would that be the way to celebrate that 100th anniversary?
I really honestly don't know, but I also doing a little more digging historically here. I thought it was coincidence, probably. But Al Capone, gangster out of Chicago, he made his bones selling bootleg hooch because of Prohibition. He got filthy rich off Prohibition. Yeah. This would have been Al Capone's 121st birthday.
Oh, wow.
Really?
What a coincidence, isn't it?
Isn't that crazy?
He didn't make it that long, though.
No, it was almost like it was...
What are the odds of that?
Almost like it was preordained, though. It's like, here's a little moneymaker for that kid that was born this day. Also, you know him, you love him. Benjamin Franklin would have been 314 today.
And he's one of my favorite founding fathers. Mm-hmm. Pretty smart dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Betty White is 99?
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Happy birthday, Betty.
Muhammad Ali, best in the biz, would have been 79 today.
Very cool. A lot of good stuff there, Dan.
So if you're celebrating, you know, Prohibition Day, do you get a designated driver? Are you a designated driver? It's confusing. I don't know.
But we should make T-shirts or something. I don't know.
If you consult your priest, I know which way they're going to go because I was raised Catholic.
The John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris. Thanks for listening.
When was the last time you got a new credit card? If you have a card that's been in your purse or wallet for a long time, you should check and see if you're getting the best rates. You may find a better credit card that will give you the points you want or cashback options you don't get right now. At bettercreditcards.com, you see all the major credit card companies and their best offers. Let them compete to earn your business. And if the one you have right now is better, keep it. Find a card that's a better fit for you at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
It's time now for Ranger Dan's Critter Corner.
Well, I'm rough, tough, and ready. I'm a heck of a man. Eat my beans and weenies from a frying pan.
He's Ranger Dan.
Easy. I'm Ranger Dan. Well, I loves to wrestle bears and lasso ducks. Run over possums in my government truck.
He's Ranger Dan.
Easy. I'm Ranger Dan. Well, I loves all the campers and the animals, too. If you're picking on critters, I'm coming after you.
He's Ranger Dan.
Yes, sir. I'm Ranger Dan.
Good morning, Ranger Dan.
Good morning, Ranger Dan.
Ready, toot, toot. Woo!
You are in rare form this morning.
Giving it the gas. Turns out in this cold weather, the ice, snow, everything else, there's more uses for sterno than I had ever even imagined.
So be prepared.
All right, here we go. There's still some inquiries going on about the first annual Ranger Dan beef cow hunt coming up in just a couple of weeks at a feedlot outside Worthing, Minnesota. People concerned, Ranger Dan, what do I use for weaponry?
Oh, yeah.
That's a great question.
Did they bring their own, or you got that covered?
Well, I got it covered both ways. We'll get in that in just a second there, Ranger Dan, if you give me a little room to move here. Did you know that cows, we'll do a little cow facts here, when the weather gets like this, a cow's hair, its fur, if you will, gets thicker, it gets longer. Their skin also thickens up a little bit as protection from the cold.
Okay.
Which is interesting. Now, when you consider most of these animals top out at about 1,000+ pounds, you don't want to be bringing some little pellet gun with you. You don't want a little bow and arrow. You don't want to be firing buckshot at them. You just You wound them, they go crazy. They'll kill you. We covered that just the other day.
Yeah, you need cow shot, not
They're
buckshot.
bloodthirsty. We've been over this before. You prefer a shotgun? That's great. You prefer a rifle? That's great. I always recommend you get something from the Savage series of firearms because they can be dirt cheap, for instance.
Oh?
A Savage Axis series bolt action 223 rifle only going to cost about $300. That's brand new.
Nice.
Sure, it's going to lock up on you at some point, but that's part of the excitement. You can get yourself a Savage 320 series semi-auto 12-gauge shotgun for around the same money. It's about $300. Find one used on Craigslist, eBay, one of them tricky Facebook thingies. Probably get one for about 100 bones or so. Ain't no big deal. And the reason you want a gun of that caliber, well, in case one of them interloping government types decides they should take it away from you. Now, these are just in. Me and my team been researching this for quite a while. Again, a cow is a big beast. It's a giant beast, and you want to take it out with one shot. How do you do that? Well, new to the marketplace, proud to announce, you can now chamber up with the Ranger Dan Cow Slammer slugs. That's 3 inches of magnum caliber, copper-tipped, nail-driving accuracy, devastating firepower. It's the hardest hitting slug known to ever hit a commercial feedlot. Box of 5, just $49.95. Those are available right now on Amazon Prime. You can pick them at Northview Bait and Tackle. And, of course, after lights out, after 2 a.m., you slide by the back of the old log cabin bar there. Tell them Ranger Dan sent you. They'll fix it right. All right, well, on with the hunt. As we get more details, we'll certainly keep you informed. That's it for Ranger Dan, the Sport Little Radio Rangers. You know the drill. Stay in school, go to church, say your prayers, eat your vegetables. Don't be playing soccer, and do not let me catch you wearing Crocs. Ranger Dan out. Yes, sir.
Again, Ranger Dan's Critter Corner.
It's a new year. Have you made a resolution to quit drinking or to finally get away from drugs for good? These are both habits that are hard to kick, but you can do it. We want to help you. TimeForRehab.com is here to help you find the help you need with your particular situation. If you want to make this year the year you get the help you need to live a normal life again, start with a little help from us at TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com.
Time right now for Water Cooler Talk, brought to you by Aqua One. Mr. Dan Farris back in the studio here with some, is it good news that you have right now, Dan?
I think it's interesting news.
Okay.
And it ties right in with our sponsor.
Oh, yeah. What do we got?
It does. We're talking about water. We're talking about public pools here in Sioux Falls.
Okay, yeah.
There's a new, I don't know if it's exactly a brouhaha or not, but thanks to the crew at Kello for supplying me with all this information. They do the work, and I just spit the stuff out. 3 outdoor pools that drew about 70,000 users back in 2018 need to be replaced.
Yikes.
This is according to consultant Leon Younger. He just laid this stuff out to the Sioux Falls City Council at an informational meeting this past Tuesday.
Okay.
Younger happens to represent Pros Consulting, of course, out of Indianapolis, Indiana.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So the city brought in an out-of-state consulting firm to help develop a comprehensive plan for the city's parks and recreation system.
Are they like specialists in this or something? Why there's nobody here that could have done this?
Apparently
This is always my
not.
biggest problem with this stuff.
I don't know. But they're saying, well, it doesn't mean that the city has to do any of this. It's just been saying, hey, the way the city is growing. And by the way, they said we do have a pretty phenomenal park and rec system here in Sioux Falls.
Oh, yeah, we do.
But things do grow and things expand and things fall apart. For instance, he's saying, look, man, you need to either replace, fix, redo whatever the Frank Olson pool, Keene pool, and also the McKinnon wading pool.
Okay.
Should be replaced to meeting ADA standards and industry standards. What are industry standards? Here's a hole, fill it with water, go, kid.
What does the American Dental Association have to do with any of this?
That is a darn good question. Well, maybe there's not enough fluoride in the swimming pools.
Oh, that's a different ADA.
Okay, according to, I'm just going to call him Leon, the pools are showing their age. McKinnon Wading Pool, for instance, is 49 years old and basically solid urine. Frank Olson Pool. I just added that. That's not really.
So Leon didn't come up with that?
I just threw that right in there.
And they're all a little chilly this time of year. I don't know if you know that.
They are, so we got a ways to go here. Anyway, they're saying, I don't know what kind of do-re-mi we're talking here if all this stuff gets done. Wait a minute. The 2020 city budget includes $25.4 million in the Parks and Rec budget. Of that, about $17.7 million is from the general fund, $2.3 million departmental funds, $5.2 from capital funds. One park improvement in the 2020 to 2024 capital improvement plan is $1.9 million. That's a renovation of the ball fields at Terrace Park, which I agree with. If they're ball fields, yes, spend all of our money on ball fields, baseball fields, football fields. Tear down the soccer fields.
I knew that was coming.
Get rid of all the public pools. These skateboard parks, boom, burn them down. Baseball, football, and let's get another ice arena. I'm good. Thank you. Mic drop. Dan out. I'm an investigative reporter who has never won an award.
But with reporting like that, it's on the way.
It's only a matter of time.
Yes. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris.
Want to make your sweetheart smile next month for Valentine's Day? Find some fun, matching shirts at funkymonkeyshirts.com. We have a whole collection of fun shirts for you lovebirds.
My wife rocks.
My man rocks.
We also have many silly shirts that will make you smile any day of the year.
My ex-wife was a trophy wife.
Participation trophy.
Find something fun for a loved one, friend, or for yourself at funkymonkeyshirts.com. That's funkymonkeyshirts.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest joining us today, Jackson Fisher. He's one of the many funny comedians that will be joining us here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota for the 4th annual Snow Jam Comedy Festival. Jackson, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, John. How are you this morning?
I'm fantastic. You're in New York, and I hear a police siren in the background. That's not good.
No, they just sort of become part of the background noise out here, pretty frequent.
For you, you probably don't even notice that kind of thing anymore, do you?
No, it just sounds like birds or crickets to me at this point. Yeah.
It's going to be eerily quiet for you when you get to Sioux Falls. Every once in a while we'll have sirens go off, but not nearly as much as you guys do. So let's talk a little bit about your comedy career. How long have you been performing stand-up comedy, sir?
I'd say about 4 or 5 years.
And what was it that got you interested in doing this in the first place?
I'd always been a fan of it, watching it on TV and listening to podcasts and things like that. But then once I grew up in Nebraska, and there is a scene, but not a big scene for it. And then I moved to New York, and once I moved to New York, I figured, that's sort of the place to do it. And I got started once I moved out here.
Absolutely. That's awesome. And now you're going to be joining us here in Sioux Falls for the Snow Jam Comedy Festival. Have you done comedy in Sioux Falls before?
I have not, no. I've driven through South Dakota a couple of times, but I haven't really spent much time there. So I'm excited to see what the city is like and what the scene is all about.
Well, and the thing that's cool, if you used to live in Nebraska, it's going to be fairly similar to that, because we lived in Nebraska for a while. In South Dakota and Nebraska, there are a lot of similarities. Now, I'll have somebody say, oh, they're completely different, but I think you're gonna discover it's kind of the same. But one of the things, when you get here, you got to try something. Have you ever heard of chislic?
I actually have had a couple people when I've started talking to people about going to Sioux Falls, and I have had it mentioned to me a couple of times. I've never eaten it before. It's like a fried meat cube. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a South Dakota thing, and that's one of the things I tell people. You got to try that when you're here. If nothing else, at least try that, because I don't think you can get it anywhere else in the world, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, I've certainly never seen it before.
So now, what type of comedy do you do, Jackson? When do you do political comedy or clean comedy, dirty comedy? How would you describe yourself?
Sure, I'd say mostly it's kind of based on my own experiences. I don't do a lot of political stuff. I mostly talk about growing up in Nebraska, moving to New York. I'm a teacher by day, so I talk about teaching kids. Sometimes I can do clean material. Sometimes I get a little dirty, but not too filthy or anything. But I try to kind of tell stories and write jokes just about the things I go through every day. Fantastic. And you said you're a teacher during the day? That's right, yeah. I teach middle school. I teach 6th graders.
Oh, God bless you. I don't think I could do that.
I get that response a lot, yeah.
Well, again, the event is coming up here before you know it. It's called Snow Jam Comedy Festival. The tickets are available right now. It's a fundraiser for Special Olympics of South Dakota. SnowJamComedyFest.com is the website. And again, our guest right now, Jackson Fisher. Jackson, I'm on your Instagram page right now. If folks would like to find you there, I'm going to put a link to that to make it really easy to find. But it's Jackson Fisher _King of Posts on Instagram. And like I said, I'll put a link to make it really, really easy. Do you post on there quite often?
I do, yeah. I post about upcoming shows, and I post clips, funny images, and all sorts of stuff, yeah.
And in your comedy career, do you kind of have a highlight right now of, like, this is my favorite thing I've ever had a chance to do on stage?
Yeah, probably. I got a chance. I was traveling through Australia the other year, and I got to do a comedy show at a club in Sydney, Australia. That was the first time I performed out of the country or any place like that. I think that was maybe the coolest thing I've done so far.
So now, what was that like? Is their humor similar to our humor, or did they find your stuff funny, or did they just kind of look at you like you're crazy?
There was some stuff that was similar, but definitely some stuff that didn't really translate. Yeah, they had, Australians, I guess, they kind of like to make fun of New Zealanders as being kind of like country bumpkins, so I adjusted some of my material to try to poke fun at them. But yeah, you could tell they were kind of hitting some of the same cultural trends, but maybe a few years behind. I was there in maybe 2018, and it felt like stuff that would have been maybe more popular a few years back in the States. It was kind of interesting.
Very cool. Well, that's fantastic. I look forward to meeting you when you get to Sioux Falls for the Snow Jam Comedy Festival. Thanks for taking the time to chat.
Oh, thanks for talking to me, John. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. Again, Jackson Fisher, one of the many funny comedians that will be right here in Sioux Falls for Snow Jam Comedy Festival. All of the details and tickets are available right now for this fundraiser benefiting Special Olympics of South Dakota. All of the info at snowjamcomedyfest.com, and it's SNO Jam, snowjamcomedyfest.com.
Student loan debt is out of control for many people. Are you one of them? The average graduate walks away with anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000 in student loans. Believe it or not, 2% even manage to owe over $100,000 by the time they graduate. If you have several different student loans, let us consolidate them into one loan and one payment at singlestudentloan.com. If you have only one student loan, we may be able to offer you a better rate to help you get that loan paid off sooner at singlestudentloan.com. That's singlestudentloan.com.
And it's time right now for entertainment news of the day with Mr. Dan Farris.
Snap them if you got them. Celebrities are fabulous. I've mentioned it before. I'll mention it again. Sometimes the athletic arena can be the celebrity arena as well. When they blend, goodness gracious, it's a thrill. One of the biggest showbiz stages in the world is the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And the Super Bowl is coming up. And I think this is kind of cool. They just announced who's going to be singing the national anthem.
Who's playing this year?
The Super Bowl. We'll get to that in just a second. For the halftime show, John? Is that what you're asking?
No, I mean the football game.
Well, we don't know yet.
Oh, you don't? I don't know. See, we don't follow any of this stuff.
But some pretty big games are coming up this weekend.
Okay.
AFC playoffs, NFC championships.
Okay.
Do you have a prediction?
I do. Glad you asked. All right. Here we go. You got the Titans playing the Chiefs. Titans are playing the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to win that, although I love to see the Titans win because nobody saw that coming at all.
He could be making all this up. We would have no idea.
Packers are playing the 49ers. The 49ers are going to tear into them by probably 3 touchdowns. So I think it's going to be a Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl on February 2nd.
Do you think so?
That'll be cool.
Okay, there are still 2 games left to play before Super Bowl. Oh.
So then the halftime show, who's going to play that?
I'm not to that yet. Oh. This entire story was who's singing the national anthem.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to be quiet.
Suddenly you got me calling Vegas bookies on this. To someone who's your favorite football team, and he says, go sports?
You want to hear the funniest thing about that? If you see the new commercial for Bet-Fred out at Grand Falls Casino, Heidi and I are in it, and we know nothing about sports.
Fantastic.
So we're in their commercial for and I think at one point I say, go sports.
Just a couple days after announcing that she's going to take part in the 2020 Grammy Awards, staged later this month, Demi Lovato is going to sing the national anthem.
Really? I did not see that one.
I just kind of like her story because she spent a whole lot of formative years in Maniac Land. In fact, she almost died of an overdose 2 years ago.
Wasn't she married to Bruce Willis for a while?
That's awesome.
No.
That was Demi Moore. Never mind.
Whole different Demi.
Whole different person.
So, yeah, she's going to bust open the national anthem, and she says she's really pleased and really proud, and she's clean and turned her life around, and there you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, again,
I love that.
And that will be taking place, again, Sunday, February 2nd. It's going on in Miami, and I think Miami, the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, has hosted 11 Super Bowls. I think they've hosted the most Super Bowls of any city going on.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Halftime show, J-Lo.
Okay.
Hey, girl. Jennifer Lopez and Shakira will be lip syncing to songs we've never heard, and and J-Lo, you know, she's she just turned 50, I believe.
That's cool.
Engaged to
A-Rod.
A-Rod from,
I knew that.
from Yankees fame. So there's another sports sign, which is weird. But I'm thinking this. She's pushing 50. She got snubbed by the Academy for her last movie, Hustler, and they thought she would at least get
a nomination.
A nomination for supporting actress. So I think we're gonna see a wardrobe malfunction.
Ooh, really?
Because somebody needs attention.
That could happen. Well, Dan, thank you for that report.
Yeah,
be
there you go.
100% made up. I would not know the difference.
So again, a couple games to go, but it will be Kansas City and 49ers in the Super Bowl. And if I were a betting man, which I'm not, if I said it, you should probably go with Tennessee and Green Bay. I had a terrible year. I had an awful year. I lost $20 to Heidi's dad. And his team couldn't have beat O'Gorman.
Didn't you lose to him twice?
Yes. Yes, I did, John.
Not to bring up,
Thank you for bringing up that painful memory.
Sore wounds or anything.
So again, if you're looking to me for advice, look elsewhere.
Well, Dan, thank you for that report, sir.
Yeah, it wasn't painful at all, John.
This has been our entertainment news of the day on the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris.